Where's the girl? Where's the girl? Oh. It's go time. Hey guys, and welcome to my review of Baaghi 2. And before I get started, I just want to do a little bit of house cleaning here and address two things real quick. First, I'm going to get this like, subscribe bullshit out of the way. If you end up liking the rest of this video, please hit that like button. And if you want to see more of content like this, hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you're always up to date. Let me know in the comments whether there's things I could do better, there's things that you hated about this review, whatever you want to say, just let me know down there. I'll always respond. I always read everything. Number two, question for you guys. First question right off the bat. How many of you people out there went to see this movie this weekend? A historic movie, by the way. I mean, I think it's like number 3 now in terms of opening day box office in India, which is pretty remarkable for a nobody. I mean, I don't want to say he's a nobody, but he's not Salman Khan, he's not SRK, he's not Amir Khan. So he's a relatively new guy, and you know, relative to them, he is a nobody. So for a movie to grow this big, I want to know, how many of you guys went in the movie theater expecting a serious movie, a good movie? Because I didn't expect one, and I didn't get one. I'd say the first 30 minutes were pretty darn good, to be honest with you. I mean, it wasn't great, transcendent filmmaking like Gangs of Wasseypur or something like that, but for what it was, I really was enjoying it. I did enjoy Tiger Shroff's relationship with the girl. There's a lot of cute, fun shit going on. I mean, it was just fun. It was well made. The production design was there. It was well lit. I mean, they took the time to actually light this basketball stadium so it didn't look like a regular basketball, it's not a stadium, excuse me, gym. They took the time to make it very music video-esque. And what I mean by that is increasing that production value by adding lights all across the rim of the gym. You know, and you would never see that in a real gym, but in a movie, you would see it. I enjoyed the very first action scene that we see Tiger Shroff in that whole police room where he literally just beats the shit out of all the police officers. It was dumb fun. There was just over the top. It was ludicrous. I mean, there's a moment where he punches someone and the guy's literally sliding across the floor on his head. I mean, no way you could explain that with physics or anything. I just wish that there was more action scenes like that. They could have went full action movie and they didn't. So that's overall my two main favorite moments about that, to be honest with you. I liked Manoj Bajpayee, his performance throughout. Towards the end, I didn't like what they did with his character, but again, always great actor, and he didn't disappoint this time. Let's put it that way. The sound design, it was really, 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 really strong and impactful. I mean, I really enjoyed every single hit you felt. The music was always there. There's just great, great, great use of the sound design. It was mixed extremely well. It sounded amazing in the theater. I cannot lie. It did sound amazing. And for me as a sound guy, I do sound professionally. I'm always on set doing things. I'm also doing sound design in post-production. Hearing that stuff was pretty inspirational because a lot of times they just overlook it and they just don't care. For action films, I should say. And I feel like that's one of the main key components of that. Now, with that in mind, it wasn't perfect. There is definitely a lot of lazy sound design going on there. I mean, there's a lot of scenes in which, and not just lazy sound design, but just lazy filmmaking in general. And maybe it's because they were trying to save money. I don't know. But for example, there's a moment where Tiger Shroff's love interest they're in a restaurant together, and someone drops a plate, and she starts freaking out. Now, normally you would cover it by showing that the girl's freaking out, she's looking around, and we're going to see all the patrons of this restaurant. We might even see the waiter drop the plate on the floor, so we understand where this crash is coming from, what's triggering her, so we as the audience can know that she's actually reacting over nothing. She's just reacting over this plate. But instead, what the director does is we don't get any of that. We simply get a shot of her freaking out, kind of uneasy, and then we hear the plate breaking. That's not a very effective way to convey that emotion, in my opinion. And I feel like that's lazy filmmaking. But it also could be a way to tighten the budget, to keep everything tight. I don't know. I mean, there's another example when they go to this guy's house that has the security cameras. You never see a wide shot of the place. You only see very, very tight shots. just enough information to get you from point A to point B, but you're really not truly understanding the scale of the situation. You're not understanding the compound, the house that's behind these gates. I mean, these are a lot of basic things that a lot of people might overlook, but as a filmmaker myself, I look at it and say, where is your establishing shot? At least once. I mean, we don't really establish anything at all. We don't see the school ever because they talk about this school. We just see the room inside the school. And again, these are little methods that you can use to make it seem like your film is a lot bigger than it actually is in order to save budget. I get it, I understand it, but sometimes when you're trying to portray a film that seems to be larger than life, where you have a huge live action chase scene in the middle of a movie where someone's running through the street and cars are flipping everywhere, practical stunts are going on, you know, I also expect some basic filmmaking techniques like an establishing shot, so I know the location. You know, it's little things like that start to bug me once you start to get your productions to a whole nother level. Let's just get right into the things I genuinely did not like, because there was plenty of them in this film. The aforementioned chase scene that I was talking about was extremely freaking over the top. I mean, two people are running down the street and you have cars just flying for no reason. I mean, there's no real reason for them to be crashing like the way they are. I mean, could it happen? Maybe. But Tigers in the High, which came out the end of last year, is very comparable to this movie in my opinion. There's a rescue mission, there's over-the-top action, but to Tigers in the High's credit, it stayed on point. It did not veer into Masala territory in my opinion. It knew it was trying to be a serious movie, and it did that from point A to point B. Yes, there was music in Tigers in the High, but it wasn't the center focus. It wasn't this weird tonal shift like in this movie. This definitely was, I felt like, a regular Masala film. I haven't watched too many of them, but that's what it felt like to me. And the biggest thing that bothered me is the trailer set it up to be an action film. And there was 2 action set pieces, 3 if you include the chase scene throughout the whole movie. And it was just extremely disappointing. I mean, 4, I guess, if you include the fight scene at the end. But it was not this jungle action film like the trailer made it seem. It wasn't. The jungle sequence, spoilers, is like the last 20 minutes of the movie. And by the time you get there, I don't even care about any of that stuff. I don't care. It was ludicrous and ridiculously dumb. I mean, you believe that he's this army officer, right? He's this high-ranking special forces army officer who's just an ultimate badass. I mean, he can kick anyone's ass. He literally destroyed a whole police force by himself. But yet, he can't find people. He's constantly always looking around like he doesn't know what the fuck's going on, like a deer in the headlights. You can't have it both ways. He's either a badass special forces guy or he's a clueless person who is helpless. You can't be both. You really can't be both, because I don't buy it. I mean, a better version of this movie would be Rocky Handsome. I know a lot of people out there not necessarily the biggest fan of it, and they appreciate The Man from Nowhere better, and I understand that, but Rocky Handsome knew from beginning to end what the type of movie it was doing. It didn't veer off into these weird places. You never saw John Abraham's character question or be less than professional. He was always investigative. He's always on top of the game. And this character, he's so wish-washy. I mean, he's so romantically involved with this woman. And like I said, I bought it at first, but they leave after 4 years. And why would she call him? He wasn't even He wasn't even in the army at that time. But she's gonna call him for what? It doesn't make any sense. I mean, the motivation for a lot of the things that happened to this story was just off. It was just off. And I'm sorry if a lot of people out there enjoyed this movie and they're really hating my review right now, but the movie really did trigger me. I mean, it just wasn't a good movie. There was just good moments, I got to admit, but overall, it just was so uneven. It was so rocky. It was just, I just couldn't buy it. The best way I can describe this movie, it was a 2.5-hour soap opera. It literally was that overdramatic at times. There was just so many unpredictable, unmotivated things that were going on. A lot of Deus Ex Machina moments where the hero was in trouble and then all of a sudden this magical thing just happened and now the hero's safe. The brother comes in the love interest husband's brother comes home, and he hears a cell phone ring outside. Why the fuck would the brother be suspicious of a cell phone? I mean, I guess the whole idea is they live on the same apartment level, so if he hears, or there's only one apartment building per floor, so if he hears a cell phone ring, he's gonna be suspicious. But I mean, to be that trigger happy, I don't know. I didn't necessarily buy that. Or when Tiger Shroff was gonna talk to one of the police chiefs or something like that, and they called another police chief, and they're like, hey, have you heard of this guy? Have you talked to him? Yeah, I went to school with him. Oh, he wants to talk to you. And he handed the phone to Tiger Shroff, and there's supposed to be this false suspense going on. Like, oh, what is he going to do? What is he going to do? He's not this person. He's an imposter. Oh, my God. And then at the last minute, the other guy on the other line, he gets another call. Oh, I got to go. I mean, it's fucking stupid. It was dumb. There was adding in suspense moments that didn't need to be there. I mean, it was ridiculous. However, I will say that I did enjoy the twist with that element that he was going undercover, because the bad guys, for lack of a better word, killed the real guy that he was impersonating. And I really enjoyed that. I liked that because there was consequences to him doing this. And I enjoyed. I really appreciated that. I actually loved that. And I would probably steal that if I ever did a movie like this, because it really, really was interesting. It was great. It was perfect. Didn't like the PTSD reveal and how they handled that. They made PTSD. They made it seem like it was some extreme disease where people just can't function on it, and that's just not the fucking case at all, man. It almost felt like they were using PTSD as a device for people who didn't know what PTSD was. Similar to Hitchcock, where they didn't know what Tourette syndrome was. So I'm very curious to know if Indians know what PTSD is. And that's not me assuming you guys don't know. That's me genuinely asking. I want to know. Let me know in the comments. Because the way the movie was written, it made me feel like it was explaining it to an audience that had no idea what it was. And because of the Iraq War, because of Afghanistan, because of Vietnam, America is very, very, very accustomed to PTSD. The name has changed throughout the years. It used to be shell shock in World War II, and then it was battle fatigue and all these. I mean, there's all these different names for PTSD, but it doesn't make you forgetful. It doesn't make you think you have a child. It doesn't do all of this crazy stuff. It genuinely doesn't do that. It makes you uneasy. It makes you depressed. It makes you do things, act out emotionally you may not normally do, but it isn't Alzheimer's, okay? And they treated it like Alzheimer's, and that's not the case. I mean, to me, when I see stuff like that, I'm not a doctor, so for any medical people out there, tell me why I'm wrong, please. I welcome it. But for me, as an American watching this, I just felt like they were preaching something that was inaccurate, something that was wrong. And I bring that up because they're going to continue to convey this message about PTSD, that it makes you this forgetful soul, that it makes you this crazy maniac. And that's not healthy. It's not like Hitchcock that's portraying a positive message for Tourette syndrome. So again, I didn't like that. I didn't like the fact that she committed suicide for no fucking reason. I mean, okay, no one believed her. All right, I get it. So she's going to kill herself? She's going to give up on her daughter? It was for drama. That's why I call it a soap opera, because that's what would happen in a soap opera. Your character that you've been following kills themselves, or they get shot, or they do this, whatever. Some crazy obscene shit that just wouldn't happen in normal life in the context of the story, but it does happen in a soap opera. And I understand people commit suicide. I get it. Some people in my family, one in particular, my uncle, committed suicide. So it's a real thing. It's a reality. But you're not going to do it because no one believes you. I mean, you're going to fight for your kid. At least that's what I think. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's the PTSD. You know, that's what they call it, the PTSD. You know, maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Side note that I thought was fucking hilarious. When we first get introduced to the love interest and Tiger Shroff, you know, that whole dynamic, there's this chubbier Indian girl, and she's so excited because she got his number. Oh my God, I got his number. And she calls him, and she's with the attractive friend. I don't remember the love interest. They're together. The chubby girl and the love interest are together. They're friends. And they call Tiger Shroff, and Tiger Shroff's with his friend. I guess he's like a basketball player or something. And so they have this like nice, cute, romantic scene, and they finally come face to face because they were just on the phone talking to one another. And then what I thought to be hilarious is Tiger Shroff and the girl make eye contact and they instantly fall in love. And what was funny about it is the hot girl stole the hot guy from the chubby girl. And they never mention it. I mean, they end up getting married, but it was just this funny thing where the fat girl totally lost her man to her attractive best friend, and I thought that was funny. They didn't mean for that to be a joke, but I definitely took it that way because that's what freaking happened. But I mean, that's a lot of negative. This is a negative review. I know, I understand that. It definitely is one of the worst Indian films I've seen. It's up there with My Name is Khan for sure. But people like it, or people at least have liked it enough to go watch it. And I'm just very curious to know why. Let me know in the comments. It was fun at first. It was just too long. I mean, that's really what hurt it for me personally. I mean, besides all the plot twists, besides the nonsensical storyline at the end where he's literally killing hundreds of fucking people for no real reason. Besides that, it was just too long. I mean, if that movie was 90 minutes, I might have changed my tune. I mean, I might have been like, you know what? It was 90 minutes. It was fun. You're in and out and all this stuff. But 2.5 hours for this, it's just like, oh, Jesus Christ, what am I wasting my time on? Because that first 45 minutes, I was in it. I was liking it. I was enjoying it. I actually had the thought, hey, I want to watch the first one. Oh, man, I want to kind of get involved with this story and this world. And I liked how he was this super militant guy who hasn't taken a break in 4 years and all this stuff, but then it just shit on itself, and I don't know. But that'll do it for this one. Like I said in the beginning, if you like this video, hit the like button. If you like more of our content or you hate this content, let me know in the comments. Just let me know in the comments. Let's just continue to have this conversation. But thanks, guys.
Where is she? Where is she?